Hello. Testing. Bhaskar sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes. We are good to start.
Okay. This is Satya ma'am. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, on behalf of Panimalar Engineering College management, principal, and HODs and staff members, I welcome you all for this 5 days workshop on robotic process automation. And our chief guest, Mr. Bhaskaran Chidambaram, working with the Intellect Design Arena with 7 years of IT experience in robotic process automation, ranging from legacy systems to sophisticated machine learning automation. And he is well versed in this field, certified in automation, mini place and UI path along with Python knowledge. His hobbies are learning other languages, exploring various technologies. So in his IT career, he also worked in Wipro, Olam International Private Limited. And I welcome you all for this 5 days workshop, and it will be benefited for you. And I sincerely thank our HOD ma'am, Dr. L. Jabushila, and department block 2 in charge, Dr. Kavita Subramani ma'am. And I take my immense pleasure to thank the coordinators, Dr. N. Purendi sir, Mrs. Satya madam, and Dr. Balaji sir. And we are about to start the session, and I like to hand over the session to Mr. Bhaskaran.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Satish. I hope it's audible to everyone. It's
Yes,
very
yes.
clear too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you, Purendi. Okay, on part of RPA, right? Before we pitch into RPA, just we will have a glimpse of what we have done so far and where we are, and what we are heading towards. If you have been going backwards 2000, where we started an Y2K problem where multiple computers has been demolished without knowing that the fact the computer.
There's only one information for the students. Sorry for the interrupt. Students, actually, you are watching this session through the YouTube channel, right? So, if for queries, the live chat will be enabled at the end of the session by around 10:15, 10:30 it will be enabled, so that you can post the queries there. If you have any queries, you can ask the queries. And this video will be available in the YouTube channel itself, so you can refer it for the later purpose also. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Satish. Yeah, I hope everyone is very eager to learn what is RPA. I hope some would have heard what is RPA already. If possible, from your mentor or from your seniors or from the past outs or from the multiple various sources, even from the articles where you came across this buzzword called RPA. For the last few years. And nowadays, the buzzword is something called ChatGPT, Google Bard, and Microsoft Bing has been evolved using ChatGPT. So these are the various terminology which is playing around every nook and corner. You can able to see multiple videos on YouTube using ChatGPT as well as you can able to see multiple shots in YouTube, as well as multiple stories and views in the Instagram along ChatGPT. So this is a technology where we have been evolving from the legacy system. What is a legacy system? It is a single system which can interact only within human and the system. Then we came up with the next system called multi-system, where multiple systems will be interacted and by which we will be getting multiple different outputs based on the inputs what we have provided. Then they came up with an approach to automate all those systems. For automating all the systems, they came up with different approaches. Some used to build their own system based out of the applications they have used. Say for example, in order to enter into a college, we used to fill multiple different forms. If you have been going to an anonymity counseling, where we will be filling out an form which will be carried across multiple pages, where you will be filling up all your details, personal information, along with your scores, what you have earned in your 11th and 12th. So all those information has been captured in a web system and it has been stored in a database, which will be processed for your counseling duration. So in order to make an automation out of those system, there need to be a platform, and the platform has to be coined with some terminologies. In order to coin with a terminology, they came up with an approach called Robotic Process Automation. What is Robotic Process Automation actually? Robotic Process Automation is nothing but it is a tool or it is a terminology which was coined to integrate multiple different tools which will interact with multiple different systems. Earlier, whenever a developer is designed a system, he may build out some automation within the application, but those automation cannot interact with other system. Say for example, I am using WhatsApp regularly. Along with that, I am using Facebook Messenger regularly. I need to copy some information and paste it to my Facebook stories based on the messages which I receive in WhatsApp in a regular interval. In order to do those kind of automations, what we can do, a developer of an Facebook can integrate with the WhatsApp and they can pull the necessary information and they can able to create the Facebook story out of it. Those can be possible, but still a developer is needed who is well versed in the programming language, and he should have a vast understanding of how to integrate systems. So this RPS came into a picture where languages will be eliminated to the maximum. We won't be eliminating any programming languages towards the 100%, where we can eliminate the programming languages at least to an extent. So this platform came where they came up with a terminology called low code, no code platform. With a terminology called low code, no code platform. So using all these terminologies, they derived with multiple different systems. What are the multiple different systems which is available under RPA right now? We used to call as an automation anywhere is one of the major tool right now in the market. Along with that, we have UiPath. Along with that, we have Blue Prism, and we have Power Automate from Microsoft, and we have Pega systems, and we have multiple other systems which has those capabilities to mimic or to perform what the human is doing on a regular basis. As you do, right, whenever you came into your classroom, the staff will be taking the attendance just to ensure whether all the members of the class has been present for the day. But those kind of system can be automated. Just say for example, instead of capturing all those information into a ledger kind of stuff or into a notebook kind of stuffs, we can have a system in place where it can be captured automatically and it can report to the management on a regular basis. So those were the some of the key areas of automation where we have been using. In terms of technology world, RPA has been evolved from multiple stages. Initially it was RPA 1.0, then it has been gradually moved to RPA 3.5. Now we have been in the stage of 3.5. In RPA 1.0, what we have done? In RPA 1.0, we have done very minimalistic operation. We have used VB script. We have used JavaScript. We have used Excel macros. Hope these terminologies would be new or it may be known to you as well. What is the use of a macro? Macro is nothing but a small piece of component which was part of Visual Studio, and it was built by Microsoft, and it was integrated with all the office products by which you can able to perform multiple different operations. Say for example, I have an Excel file. Just assume you have an Excel file. It has 10 columns, 100 rows. You need to perform some concatenation operation. If you have been well versed in Excel formula, yeah, you can able to do by single click and you can able to drag to multiple cells on the go. Otherwise, you can go with the next approach called using a macro, where you can create a macro by just clicking off the cell and you can record some stuffs and you can play at the end whenever it is required. So it is one of the main part of low code no code platform where you can record all the stuffs. By recording the stuffs, it will generate the code for you. With using that code, you can able to execute multiple times on the go based on the file which you have and based on the request which you have. It is the part of 1.0. Then comes 2.0. In terms of 2.0, we focused towards web scraping. Web scraping is nothing but pulling an information from a website. Say for example, everyone would have been used multiple websites so far. Just for our scenario, we will take off Anonymity portal whenever they releases your results post your examination. I am very pretty sure that the server will be down during those scenarios, but just assume after 2 to 3 days you want to pull a report out of the system based on your roll numbers. Say for an example, your class strength is about 16 members. If you want to perform data extraction for 16 members, you need to provide the registration number 60 times and you need to provide the captcha for 60 times and you need to provide the date of birth for 60 times. Rather than performing the same kind of stuff multiple times, you can have all those information into an Excel file and you can make a automation out of it. Like you will be reading the information from an Excel file and you will be feeding those information into a web page. Once you click on submit or once you click on next to proceed, you will be getting the result and you can extract those result and you can able to append those information into a CSV file. At the end of few minutes, roughly for 60 students in a college, it won't take huge hours. It will complete its entire operation within 2 minutes. For 60 requests, it may consume 2 minutes based on the server response of Anonymity. So by which you will be getting the complete set of information, and those information can be presented to your management with some metrics out of it. What is the maximum score attained by a individual, as well as the maximum score attained for a subject. Those kind of metrics you can be derived out of it, which can be presented to your management. So once you create this automation, the same automation can be used for all your 8 semester. Just for consider, you have created this automation in your first semester. The same automation can be executed in regular interval after your examination result, and based on those results, you can be presenting multiple different metrics out of it. So you have been creating a platform, or you have been creating a solution only once, and you have been reusing the solution multiple times. Hope you would have remember or recollect some terminologies which we have been used in OOPS, which is called DRY principle. DRY. What is DRY actually? Don't repeat yourself. What is DRY? Don't repeat yourself. Using that principle, you will be creating a module, or you will be creating a function, or you will be creating a method, which method can be invoked in multiple places based on your request, based on your need. Or just a straightforward example. Hope everyone is aware that WhatsApp is acquired by Facebook already. This is an outdated information, still I am giving you. So WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook. In that scenario, you can able to see multiple improvements within WhatsApp, like the WhatsApp status and other set of informations as well, by which they have been just reusing the code which was written for Instagram, or it may be written for Facebook itself. The code has been written by a developer, and it was made in a concept, in a goal set of it should not be repeated multiple times. The same logic should not be repeated multiple times. So whenever you create a piece of code, it should be scalable in a sense that it can be used multiple times across multiple time zones, across multiple duration of a week or a year. So if I created this piece of automation just to extract the information from Anonymity portal based on your examination result, I can use across multiple departments. Just I created this piece of automation for my CSE department in my first semester. So I can use in my CSE department for next 8 semester, as well as I can able to scale up this solution for other departments as well. So I can able to use the same solution in my IT department, mechanical department, CSE department, or artificial intelligence department, any department what you have in our organization. Only source of input is your Excel file, where you will be having all your basic information. What is your basic information? Your registration number, which is known by everyone in your class, and your date of birth. You will be providing those date of birth whenever you have been enrolled into your college premises, because it is a mandatory stuff, as well as it will be embedded on your ID card as well. So it is a basic information. CAPTCHA is nothing but it will be auto-populated by the system itself by RPA using screen scraping method. We have those capabilities in place. So only those two information is a mandatory one, which is already in place within the Office system or within the portal, student portal, right? So using that, we have created a input source in the format of Excel or in the format of CSV, and we have feeded those input into our automation piece of code, which is a reusable one, and it will be providing you an output in your specified format. So it is what we have done in RPA 2.0. And what about RPA 3.0 and what about RPA 3.5? In RPA 3.0, they have come up with multiple additional features on PDF related stuffs. What is PDF related stuffs? Whenever you have been working on multiple documents, multiple handwritten documents, just assume you want to pay your term fees. Whenever you have been paying your term fees, you will be filling out your challan. So challan processing for 60 members is easy for an IT member. for an IT people or for an payroll people or for the financial team. Just consider same 60 number has to be replicated for all the departments in your college. For all the departments in the college, then it will be an hectic process for the financial team to handle all the requests in very short span of time, because the duration to pay the fees and to complete the entire module of completing the financial data, they will be having a rough timeline just about 4 weeks, just about 20 days in a month, right? Within those 20 days, they need to collect all your amount and it has to be deposited into the respective bank account. They need to create a accounting sheet, like what has comes in and what has goes out. So those kind of data has to be created and it has to be up to date. If there is some deviation, if I paid my fees on a date just before the last date, if it has been not reflected in the system, then there will be a circular coming to me via email or via my HOD stating that I would have been a defaulter in my fee term. So if we have an RPA in place in terms of 3.0, where we can able to scan and extract all the information whichever you have filled in your challan. Say for example, you will be provided your account number, your registration number, and what is the amount, what is the denomination, if you have been providing via cash. If you have made an online transfer, we can able to get it done. Using the statement of your bank, we can able to pull those information based on the description where you will be providing your name along with your registration number. Using those registration number, we can able to make the necessary update in your college SAP system or an ERP system, by which there won't be any defaulter, by which there won't be any error which made into the system, by which we can able to eliminate multiple minor human errors which can be made by an human during an hectic stage of an workforce. So in order to act as a additional human to an existing human, we came up with an approach called RPA, by which the 3.0 has been evolved by adding all the technologies of 1.0 and 2.0. What about 3.5? After the boom of ChatGPT, using OpenAI or using Google Bard or using Microsoft, they came up with an approach where you can able to make your system to learn by itself based on the inputs what you provide. Say for example, you have been performing some analysis for your final year project. Analysis is nothing but you want to read the patient records. Who has been a regular visitor to an hospital. Just for an example, we will take some top hospital in Chennai, and in that hospital there will be some regular visitor who will be performing some regular checkups in regular intervals. Those kind of data we will pull, and we need to identify what are the metrics has been impacted to them. Say for example, in January they will be having some sugar count of 300. In March, in February there is no test, so they moved to March, and in March there was a deviation, there was a slight increase in sugar count to 350. In June or in May there was a slight decrease in the sugar count. So there was a gradual increase and decrease in sugar count of a patient based on his or her food habits. Using RPA 3.5, where you can able to capture the complete information from a PDF document or from an handwritten document which was provided by a doctor, by which we can able to extract necessary information, only the necessary information, not all the information which has been captured by the doctor, only the necessary information we will be capturing, and we will be creating a data out of it, and which can be used to educate any patient who has been coming as a regular visitor to an hospital, just to avoid or just to stop them from visiting hospital, so that we will ensure that the patient has been cured and he has been in good health at least for 3 or 4 months if he has been following good diet as prescribed by the doctor. So 3.5 has evolved very recently only because of ChatGPT and Google bot, because they have just they have just changed the entire market setup, and they just changed the way of learning and way of implementing solution. So these are the various hierarchy, how an RPA has evolved and where we are right now and what kind of use case we have been working upon. So the next part is whether RPA is a service sector or a product sector. I hope it will be a new question to you. Otherwise, you would have not known about what is a service sector and what is a product sector. Okay, just to give a glimpse of what is a service sector and product sector. In IT world, there is two players. One player will be providing service to all kind of users. One player will be creating multiple products, and those products will be given to all kind of users or all kind of business. Say for example, Google is a product. Why it is a product? Because they have created Google engine, they have created Google AdSense, they have created Google Meet, and they have created Gmail, they have created multiple other applications, and those applications has been provided to the end users as well as they have been provided to the business as well. Okay. For using Google Meet, we have, as a college, we have paid some subscription fee. Whereas as an end user, as a customer, we won't be paying any amount. For YouTube, if you have been you have been paid based on the videos which you have uploaded. So those kind of terminologies has been used, and it is a product sector. In terms of service sector, the best example and a very well-known company is the TCS, where the TCS has been providing multiple different services across multiple different industries in place, as well as they have been creating product, but the product is very minimalistic and it is very specific towards the organizational setup. So the best product which the TCS has ever created is the portal which you will be using to apply for your passport. The passport system, the entire application has been created by TCS. If you have been going to income tax filing, you won't be filed anything so far, fine, you will be filing in the future. If you have been filing any income tax filing, then it would have been created by Infosys. If you have been creating any postal related stuff, post office saving scheme or post office investments in future, then it has been created by your peer colleagues who have been sitting based out of Infosys or even by Cognizant. So those were the few products which is available and which has been created by multiple service sector. So RPA will be a part both in product sector as well as in service sector. Based on the company which you have been joining, then you may be in product sector or you may be in service sector. Just assume everyone will be aware of Tesla, right? In Tesla, there may be a team which required automation. There may be a team which required automation. So in those kind of scenarios, we will be onboarding RPA into a product organization. We will be onboarding a product, RPA product into the product sector. Same way, TCS needs to scale up their services. TCS need to scale up their services. In that scenario, they can use RPA as one of their product, and by which they can able to provide services to their multiple clients. So RPA is in the place of both service sector as well as product sector. So don't worry about this. Based on the company and based on the organizational setup, this RPA will be there for next 1 or 2 decades, definitely for sure. In terms of life cycle, yeah, I have provided you life cycle has been spanned from 1.0 to 3.5. And what are the various tools in RPA? If you have been come across tools in RPA, as I said, we have automation where we have UiPath, we have Microsoft Flow or Power Automate. They used to call. Nowadays it has been called with Power Automate, and we have Pegasystems and we have Work Fusion in place. These are the various tools along with Blue Prism. These are the various tools which is available in the market right now, and there are multiple scope of a fresher to be enrolled into this RPA platform. Why? Because there are multiple use cases available in the market just to perform the automation, and the automation has to be followed the drive principle, and it should be more stable in nature, and it should have the capability to scale up to a larger extent. What is scaling up to a larger extent? I have created an automation for my department, and the same automation has to be used by all the department. It is what we called as scaling up the use case or scaling up the solution. Then you would have come up with a question. Today we are ChatGPT. Whether ChatGPT will kill RPA sector? Whether ChatGPT will kill RPA sector? If you have watched some videos, some informative videos in YouTube, they would have stating a quote: ChatGPT or the GPT will kill few sectors. Like it will kill paraphrasing sector, it will kill proofreading sector, it will kill content creator or content editor sector, it will kill the photo editing sector using DALI. Hope you have used the DALI to create some random pictures, right? Using your words. Even in Adobe Firefly, there is a version which was released very recently, Adobe Firefly, using which if you want to play around some keywords, there was an image, there was a cat image. In that cat image, the background is very messy. You want to clear the background and you want to place the cat into a green form field. If you want to perform this using Adobe Firefly, just you will be providing some keywords by which it will just transform the image as per the image what you have in the real. As per the image what you have in the real. Just Google around those stuffs. It will be quite innovative in nature, and you can able to play around those kind of stuffs. If you have been quick to adapt, then you will be one of the key player in any of the sector, whichever you have been leading in the future. So definitely GPT won't kill any of the sector right now in the market. So what is the prerequisite for a good RPA developer? What do you feel? What do you feel it would be the requisite or a key for a developer to be successful in RPA platform? I would say a single word: willing to learn. What to be? It has to be willing to learn, adopt any technology. If you have been open-minded and if you have been open to learn anything, then you will be a successful RPA developer. Then you will be successful RPA developer. You should be open to learn. You should not be stick to only one thing. Just to say, I am well versed in Java, I am well versed in Python, so I will be doing everything in Python. It should not be your case. You should be exploring all the stuffs. You should be exploring all the stuffs. So in terms of RPA space, what are the stuffs we have been using so far? We have been using Python, we have been using VB script, we have been using JavaScript, we have been using web scraping, and we have been using SQL or DBMS. We have been using some level of web designing, not to the extent of 100%, we'll be using roughly around 30 to 40% of web designing, and we'll be using API automation. So these are the various technologies we have been using so far just to improve the quality of an RPA deliverables. Just to improve the quality of an RPA deliverables. So these are the various programming languages. So you would have been feeling that whether I should learn all these technologies now itself just to enroll into RPA. I would say no. I would just insist you should have an open vision to learn anything whenever it comes to you. You should have a open mind, and you should be easy to adopt to any of the technologies. So how can I adopt all of these technologies? What is the easiest way? What is your guide to adopt any of these technologies? In order to adopt any of the technologies which is around you, right? You should know the basic concept of programming. You should know the basic concept of programming. What is the basic concept of programming? How to create a variable. How to create some conditional loops or conditional blocks. How to create a for loop. How to create a while loop. How to create variables across multiple data types, because data types plays a vital role. You should not stick yourself to create a variable using integer, float, string, arrays, and list. You should scale up your skill set just to know how to create a variable using array, dictionary, data table, enumerate. Those kind of additional data types you should know, and you should explore all those data types just to ensure you are not a low-level developer. You should be a mid-level developer whenever you have been entering into any of the organization. So you should know the basic concept. Using that basic concept, you can able to learn any of the technologies. You can able to learn Python very easily. If you want to learn R, R is one of the major language which we will be using for data science. So if you want to learn R, yeah, once again, it will be very easy if you know the basic structure out of it. Then there will be a minor deviation in terms of creating a class, in terms of creating a function, method. Few will have a curly braces, few will have a semicolon at the end. Few won't have those kind of stuffs. Yeah, just a minor tweak here and there. You can able to adopt it very easily on the go. It is like learning a programming language on the fly based on the previous language what you learned very strongly. So I insist everyone just to focus on one programming language. In that you need to be well versed in all the terminologies. If you have been using Python in all your learning so far, then ensure you are focused on all the modules of Python. You should know about what is set, what is tuple, and what is dictionary, and how a list has to be created, and how an array has to be created in Python. And you should know what is a function in Python, what is a constructor and destructor in Python. So all those concepts you should be very clear, by which you can able to learn any of the programming languages in within 1 or 2 weeks based on your availability time. So right now, there are the programming languages we have been using based on the use cases what we have been automating so far. So we will move further onwards. What is the structure of an RPA product? I have mentioned multiple RPA products like UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Ever, Pegasus systems, right? How the structure will be? What is structure actually? I hope everyone is aware of anatomy of a human body. Anatomy of a human body doesn't that it will have your skeletal structure, your nerve structure, your tissue structure. Those kind of structure which will be shown to you. Anatomy of a computer. What is an anatomy of a computer? The CPU, the motherboard, multiple hardware equipments like your peripheral devices, keyboard, mouse, monitor, and where the entire computation performed in the CPU. In the CPU where it sits within your motherboard. So if something is going wrong within the CPU, then the entire system will collapse. It is an anatomy of the system how they design. In RPA, same way we have an anatomy here. We have something called control room or orchestrator. Then why control room or an orchestrator? This is the bar which makes your system to enter or to store all your information. Just as an example of a control room. In college, what is the control room? In your college days, what section you feel as a control room? Your department office is a control room? I would say no. Your department office is not a control room. The admin area, the admin room is the control room for the entire college premises, because the admin team will be tightly correlated with the management, and they have been tightly correlated with the payroll system, and they have been tightly correlated with the financial systems. Okay, these were the departments which has been tightly correlated with the admin team. So whenever you have been enrolling into the college using announced counseling, the first team which you are going to meet is your admin team, by which they will be guiding you to go to your respective department based on the department what you chose in the counseling, or based on the direct enroll, completely based out of it. Here the control room is once again your admin department. The control room is once again your admin department. Here the control room will integrate all your users. Using that control room, you can able to sign in. By signing in, you can able to perform multiple different operations out of it. So here we will be having a control room. In this control room, we will be having a bot creator or UiPath Studio, bot runner, or UiPath assistant. This nowadays they used to call this bot agent or runner. Okay. So these are the basic component. In order to use your bot creator or your UiPath Studio, your orchestrator should be up and running. Your admin team should be active. If the admin team is not active, then you could not able to use any of the products. You could not able to access any of your resources. Just ensure you have been entering to your college for the first day. Your admin team doesn't provide you necessary information, or your admin team doesn't guide you with the necessary information. Then where you will end up? You will be ending up with chaos. You will be getting lose the trust of the organization. You will be losing the trust of the college as well. So you won't be proceeding further. You may be trying to enroll into some other college as well. So the admin team in the day one has to be well versed, and they should provide you necessary information, and they should guide you in a proper way to enroll further. So it is how they have designed. Here the UiPath Studio has been connected with your orchestrator, as well as your UiPath assistant has been connected with the orchestrator. What is UiPath Studio? The next question comes in, right? What we can able to do with our control room and orchestrator. Using control room and orchestrator, we can able to create user, or we can able to enroll any student who comes in with the respective grades. Okay, we can enroll the student, and we can provide necessary roles to the user. In this other way, we can provide a respective department to the student. Say for example, he has got almost 95% in his career, in his 12th mark, then we can suggest them to go with mechanical department, or we can suggest them to go with CSE department or ECE department. So in those kind of guidance we can able to provide. What is called as a roles. Roles is nothing but whatever role you can able to perform. As a student, what role I can able to perform? I can able to come to my college using my ID card. I can able to go through all the syllabus. I can able to write the exam. I can able to access my library. I can able to access my admin team. I can able to access my department HOD and my department staff. I could not able to directly access to my college dean. In some worst case we can able to meet, that's fine, but in a real time scenario it is not an advisable to meet your college dean directly without meeting your department HOD. So it is how the structure and the role has been defined for a student. In the same way, in order to perform any kind of automation, there will be a defined role. The role will be categorized into two types. One is for a developer, one is for an admin. For developer, the role is to develop the piece of code by following the try principle. The administrator will perform all kind of operation by providing respective roles to the user as well as providing multiple access to the system. There may be a need, just assume while you are being moving into fourth year, you need access to your R&D lab. You need access to your R&D lab, which you won't have. By enabling the respective access, by providing the respective access, or by getting the necessary approval from the HOD, you can able to access your R&D lab for your exploration, which is out of topic, which may be an out of topic. In order to perform the same kind of stuff, here in orchestrator or in control room, we have those different set of roles by which we can able to perform or we can able to create multiple piece of automation. So what is the use of UiPath assistant or a bot agent or runner? It is nothing but a platform where you can able to execute your code, or where you can able to run your code in the live environment, where you can able to run your code in the live environment, by which you can able to leverage your solution, or you can able to visualize your solution how it has been working, where you can able to visualize your solution how it has been working. It is the use of UiPath assistant. Everything has been provided by the orchestrator or your bot control based on the roles and the licenses. Okay. This is the structure of an RPA product. Along with that, we have multiple other sub products as well, which we won't be covering right now. If you are very keen to understand what are the other platforms of an RPA product, I can able to share you those links by which you can able to understand what is the entire structure of an RPA product. Okay, yeah. I hope I have covered everything. We will move on to the next topic, a sneak peek to an RPA tool. Today I will just give a glimpse of an automation here, just a glimpse, and I will show you the orchestrator of an UiPath. And from tomorrow's session, we will be having complete use case of how to create a variable and what are the stuffs we can able to do using UiPath, and what kind of automation we can able to do using UiPath. And I will show you few use cases using the real-time GPT model. Few use cases on real-time GPT model. Just a sneak peek of an automation tool. I hope the screen is visible. Could I get some yes from anyone? Okay. This is what we called as an automation in your cloud solution. Using this, you can able to perform your automation using your browser without an application to be installed in your machine. There is a minor piece of component which need to be installed whenever you want to integrate your information with your desktop machine. Say for example, I need to access a file from my desktop. In our scenario, right? In our scenario, what I've explained, just to pull the information from the announced exam results portal. Where my information stored? My information is gets stored in my Excel file. So the Excel file will be resided in my local machine. So this is my cloud URL where I'll be landing up this page post my successful sign in. If you see the component, this is my control room or this is my orchestrator in other way. If you see, this is my administration section. If I am a full privileged role, I will be having multiple access here where I can able to create multiple users and I can able to provide multiple roles here. So what is the main area which we need to focus upon? In the home page, you can able to see something called get started, create a bot. What we have been speaking about? We have been speaking about robotic process automation. Robotic is nothing but a bot will be created using this system or using this product which will mimic the human action, as well as it can able to provide you an high level or in clear insights on the data which you provided as an input to it, which you provide as an input to this system. It is completely based on the solution and it is completely based on the use case which you have been picking up on. Okay, here if you see, this is a home page where I can able to create a bot and I can able to get an insights of it, and this is nothing but an automation. There is two kind of automation which need to be speaked upon. One is unattended automation. And the next one is attended automation. In unattended automation, there won't be any human intervention. What is intervention? If I am speaking, there is a one person who need to interrupt between me. Those is called as an interruption. Otherwise, if you have been traveling in a bike, all of a sudden there was a car which was crossing you and it made a hard stop before you. It is called as an interruption, due to which you made your bike to hard stop. So those are called as an interruption. Here, in terms of unattended automation, there won't be any human intervention. There will be an input, there will be output at the end. In terms of attended automation, there need a human intervention. What kind of human intervention needed? There may be some approval required. There may be some authentication required. There may be some piece of information need to be inputted by an human. So those were the basic information that are required to design whenever we have been thinking of on automation. Then comes to the automation area where we can able to create our use case. Just to create our use case, we can able to click on create new and we can click on taskbar to create it. Otherwise, you can able to click on this plus icon by which we can able to create a taskbar. So just I created a taskbar here just for our example. Here is the file name or your class name or the function name, whatever name based on the use case, right? You need to provide a descriptive name and the description is optional once again, and you can choose the folder where the file has to be stored. Just an example, if you have been downloading some videos from any of the browsers, right, you will be redirecting to the respective folder. It would be downloaded in your downloads folder, whereas you will be redirecting to some of the folder where you would have stored all your information. Same way, here you can able to create your bots into your respective folder which can be utilized in your future use cases. So just I created a bot here. So how it will be? It will have all your actions, or in terms of UiPath, it is activities. One second. All your activities will be here, and this is your working area. This will be your working area, and here you will be getting your properties for each of the action. For each of the action, this will be your properties. So how it is a low code no code platform? You will be having those questions, right? How I am saying it is a low code no code platform. If you see, just for a message box, I can provide the action name by which I can able to get the information out of it. This is my message box. So I just drag and drop here. And what are the properties? It requests me to provide? So enter a message to display. So this is the information it requests me to provide. So this is the information I need to provide. So here, welcome to RP. In terms of any programming languages, what we have learned so far, right? We will be writing this line of code as your first program. If you have been learning C++ or if you have been learning Java, you will be using the print function just to print hello world, so that you will feel that you have executed your function end to end, and you will be ensuring that every installation has been done properly in your system. Same way, just to ensure everything is in place, that I can able to run my use case, I just add a message box here, and I am clicking on save. Here, I can have the debugger functionality, I can run it. So if you click on run, same way, F5 in any of the IDE which you have used so far. If you have been using VS Code or any Python kind of IDE, or even Eclipse, or even Anaconda related IDE, everywhere we will be having the debugger and the run button. Same way, here also we will be having the debugger and the run button, but we will not be writing any piece of code here. Everything is a predefined one. You can able to just drag and drop here, and you can able to use it on the go. If you need any other additional functionality, yes, we can able to do it, where we can able to create our own custom packages. Just assume you want to perform some automation out of XML or HTML. Just everyone knows, right? If you want to make some automation out of HTML, then you can you will be searching for an action using HTML where you won't find it easily. So you will be going for a custom package creation, by which you can able to import it here, and you can able to use it on the go. So I have written a code, and I have clicked on run button. It started execution. This is my execution window where I can able to see the progress. This is my message box. So this is my message box. Welcome to RPM. In terms of setup, everything is fine, and we executed the bot successfully. So far what you have seen is nothing but an RPA lifecycle and the structure of an RPA, and what are the various products in an RPA. Now we have been seeing how to create a bot in terms of automation anywhere, using automation anywhere. If you want to explore automation anywhere, you can able to access this URL directly, and you can able to sign up on your own, and you can able to use it as per your go. It is a community edition. It is a freeware. You can use n number of times. There is no limitations in it. So this is how you need to create any kind of automation using automation. We will move on to UiPath now. Okay. Okay, in terms of UiPath, Once again, we have something called Community Edition here as well as Enterprise Edition. For Community Edition, this is the URL cloud.uipath.com, where you will be signing up and you will be creating your own tenant. Tenant is nothing but your own user profile, and within that user profile you can able to play around multiple kind of stuffs. If you see, it is called as an automation cloud. There will be a slight difference between an automation layer and UiPath, but in terms of the structure and in terms of the product design, everything is almost same. So this is an automation cloud. If we expand this, these are the various solutions they provide to us, or these are the various products they have created and they have been leveraging to us. We will be speaking on orchestrator, and then we will be going on with the studio, where you will be creating the same kind of automation what we have done in automation layer, and we will be seeing what will be the result out of it. So if we go on to orchestrator, what is an orchestrator? Once again, orchestrator is nothing but a control room, or it is an admin which provides the respective roles and privileges for a user to perform multiple different operations. If you see here, we have something called a tenant. Tenant is nothing but a group or a profile to the user. If you have been working as an enterprise is nothing but an organizational level, the tenant, they will be created during the setup. Whenever they have been setting up their system, they will be creating out their tenant and the workspace. Workspace is nothing but where we will be performing all our operations. If you see, this is my home page, where I don't have any process, or I don't have any predefined information. This is the machine which has been connected to it right now, and those machine details will be captured in this tab. And in terms of automation, how many automations I have created so far, and all those information will be stored in my cloud environment, so that I can able to use it across systems. It is not a system specific solution. It is the solution we can able to leverage across system, across various time zones. Say for example, from India, I created a solution. The same solution can be executed in Australia as well. Using the respective inputs. So this is the automation portion, where I can able to create a package and I can able to create a job out of it. And it is once again a vast topic in terms of the automation. In terms of monitoring, during your execution, you can able to monitor multiple kind of stuffs, whether the job is running or it is in a pending state, whether it is queued up, whether it is about to stop or it was stopped, whether it was terminated all of a sudden. Terminated in the sense, you have created an automation, you started your process, all of a sudden power goes off, your laptop shutdowns, or all of a sudden power goes off, your computer shutdown. So in those scenario, there is no resources or there is no CPU to execute your process. So in those scenarios, it will get terminated all of a sudden. And it was suspended, it was intentionally done by the user, and if it has been resumed from the suspended stage, then it will be in the resumed stage. This is the stages in terms of monitoring. So this is how it will be in terms of orchestrator. Okay, fine. Okay, whenever you create your own user profile, there is no action required to be done in this setup. There is no action to be done from this setup. You can able to directly go on with your UiPath Studio to perform all your operations. Give me a minute. I'm just opening up my UiPath Studio. Okay. I hope the screen is visible once again.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Ratish. Whenever you launch your UiPath Studio icon, right, UiPath has multiple tools like UiPath Studio and UiPath Assistant, which I explained so far. And we have one more tool as well, which will help you to diagnose the error information or just to diagnose what has been going wrong in your system. So this application I just opened. So this is a commuted edition once again. If you have been going to settings, settings portion, license and profile, where you can able to see your profile information and how it has been connected to your system. In this area, you can able to see your UiPath Assistant. If you click on this, it will pop up your UiPath Assistant once again. This is your assistant by which you can able to perform the respective operations out of it, just to trigger any of your process or any of your applications which you have created. So here if you see, it is an exe file which has been installed in my local machine, by which I can able to perform multiple kind of automation. Whereas an automation anywhere, you can able to perform all kind of automation as a browser based, where they have been eliminating this exe a lot, and they have been storing all the information into your cloud server or into your server. Whereas in terms of UiPath Studio, all your information will be stored in your local until you publish it or until you upload into your server. So here we have some technology called publishing. The same thing has been there in terms of automation here, in some different names altogether. So if you see the start, where I can able to create a project, here we used to call nothing but a process. If you want to create some reusable component, then we can able to use a library. If you want to create some testing project, if you have been going to be a tester in future, then you can able to use your UiPath as well, where you can able to create a test automation as well. There is in terms of testing, right, tester, right, there are two bifurcation. One is a manual tester, one is an automated tester. For automated tester, recently we have been using UiPath Studio as well. So if you want to create some template is nothing but a class kind of stuff. The same kind of templates can be created using the studio as well. So this is how your home page will be whenever you launch your UiPath Studio. In terms of tools, yeah, we have multiple tools as we have in other applications as well. UI Explorer is one of the important tool which will be more helpful to identify any UI elements on your desktop application, web-based application, even on the Citrix application, even on the Citrix or RDP based application. So this is one of the major apps which is provided by UiPath, as well as there are multiple extensions.
Bhaskar,
Yes, Satish.
sorry for the interruption. Actually, we have a doubt like, is it freeware or it's a paid version?
Yeah, it is a freeware. Both are free.
Can you provide the links and everything to where we can download and then we can work on it?
Sure, Satish. I can able
At the end
to.
of the session, you just share me the document. I'll post it in the video. I mean the video's YouTube video description,
Okay. Yeah, sure,
like
definitely.
where we have to download and what are all the steps and like that.
Hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satish. Yeah, these are the different extensions as we have. Here we have an explicit extension for an Excel based work, because till we complete our college days we won't use Excel much, but once you enter into office you will be using Excel as an extensive one. Even it's a product based organization or a service based organization, Excel will be used extensively. So whenever you find some time, learn to use an Excel file, learn how to use an Excel file, as well as learn how we can able to use multiple Excel functionality, as well as SAP is one of the widespread ERP system. We can able to configure this as well. So these were the few extension completely based on the applications which we will be using upon. Okay, in terms of plugins, these are something which we will be using whenever we have been creating a programming language, where we will be where we will be cloning our code into our Git repository or an SVN bucket or into an TFS server. So this will be used for source versioning. If you have been into DevOps kind of stuffs, where you will be using all these tools. You will be using Git, Jenkins, and we have Jira. These are the different applications you will be using extensively. So using the UiPath Studio as well, you can able to integrate multiple SVN applications. This we won't be using much. Yeah, as I mentioned, we can able to integrate Git, SVN, and TFS. Those integration has to be done from this section. And the basic settings, if you want to change some settings, mostly we will be preferring the dark theme if it is a white background. If you want a dark theme, yes, we can able to make a change from your general settings as well. Using the theme kind of stuffs you can able to change. If you want to change other kind of stuffs which will be used for your automation, you can able to make a change, and where the file has to be located, those kind of information you can able to make a change here. So these are the some key steps which we will be doing whenever we will be performing some operation in a wider scale as an enterprise. In terms of community edition, it is not required. It is suggested to go with the existing approach itself. So just we will create a process. I'm clicking on, I clicked on process. It just open up a window where I need to provide all the information here. Here, just welcome to Happy. This is my project name. It is advised to provide the description. Still, it is an optional one. Yeah, blank. Program for learners. Okay, here what it is a compatible. It is compatible with multiple different systems, like a Windows-based application. All Windows-based application will support. If you want to be a cross-platform, like it has to support all your Windows application, all your Java-based application, all your Silverlight-based application, or all your SAP systems, then we need to go with your cross-platform. What is legacy system? Legacy system is nothing but the application which was built long back, which was built in 1990s, or which was built in 2000, or which was built before 2010 are called a legacy system. The application which was built before 2010 are called legacy system. For now, we will go with the Windows. And what kind of programming languages we can able to use here? Here in automation ever, we don't have any basic functionality to use any of the programming languages. Whereas in UiPath, we can able to use the programming languages like Visual Basic or C Sharp. In terms of this, everyone we used to recommend us to go with Visual Basic because it is more compatible and more friendly than C Sharp. So if you want to use UiPath more extensively, try to learn Visual Basic. As I mentioned, you need to learn any programming languages in depth, then you can able to scale up in any other programming languages. Just clicking on create, it will take few minutes just to load up all the prerequisite, and it will open up a new window altogether by which we can able to perform few actions out of it. In the meanwhile, before it load up, I want the queries from each of you guys. Any queries, team? Satish sir, is there any queries from anybody? Hi sir, I just dropped the link to both of this application where you can able to sign up, by which you can able to download both the community edition.
Okay. Thank you. So by end of the session, can you share me as a document in WhatsApp so that I'll share it in the video description?
As a document, sir? Yeah, fine.
Okay, but because that will be the good one. Because students are watching in live stream, so it is very difficult for them to work now.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you
fine, sir.
put it as a document, that will be a better one. Okay, but the demo is actually the what which you are showing right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's just loading up the workspace.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the UI. It may be similar to in Eclipse or in Visual Studio IDE or some other IDE which you have used so far. If you see, this is the work area or the area where you will be playing around with multiple different stuffs. And this is once again your properties panel as we see in our automation here as well. And this is all our menus where you can able to play around with multiple different stuffs. This is one of our apps which I explained just few minutes back, and this is where our activities comes in. Activity is nothing but an action in automation your activities in UiPath. Just for our example, we will drop a message box here. Here, the advantage is if you click on plus, it will just load up a window. It will populate all your actions here. Just you type message, it will come up. It will pop up your message box. It will show up an error, just like a warning. As we see in our programming languages, if we miss some semicolon or if we miss some curly braces, it will come up with an error message, right? Same way, it will come up with an error message or a warning message where you need to provide the necessary information. What is the information they have been expecting us to provide? A text. Here you provide the text in double quotes because it is a string. Welcome to UiPath. Okay, welcome to UiPath. Just an information. I have provided those information and automatically my error information or my warning information has disappeared. And it has been disappeared. If you see in the right side, if you see in the right side, this is my property for my action. This is my property for my action. Every property has a detailed description, so we need to go through it one by one. So here the basic property which I need to provide is my text information because it is a mandatory one. Without that, I could not able to execute my program. So I provide this information. I will be clicking on save. I will be clicking on save. It has been auto saved. Now I clicked on my run button or my debug program. It will just debug my entire line of code. It will take some time. Once the compilation activities has been completed, then it will execute my program. In automation where you would have seen a runtime window, whereas in UiPath we won't have any runtime window. It will run in the background where you can able to see all those execution in your UiPath assistant or those execution in your UiPath assistant. Yeah, it has started your execution. If you see, it has given you the result. I hope it's visible to everyone. Okay. Assuming yes. Clicking on OK. Now my automation will get stopped automatically. So this is how my automation will be executed whenever I am performing multiple operations using my UiPath Studio. Okay, we have 5 minutes. We will park this 5 minutes for Q&A. Sir, could I get those questions if you have something?
Okay, shall I enable the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now the live chat is enabled, so you can refresh the YouTube link and then you can see it is enabling. So if you have any queries, you can post the queries there. And it is enabled now. The chat box is enabled now. The live chat is enabled. Students students, if you have any queries, you can ask the queries in the chat box. Bhaskaran, can you see the questions there? Is it visible for you?
Yes, sir. From Tarun,
Yes,
there
yes,
was a
yes.
question.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, hi Tarun. Just to answer your question, right? What is the major difference between Apex Studio and Studio X? Okay. In terms of Studio and Studio X, right? Studio X has been created for a citizen developer. Okay, what is citizen developer? Will be your next question. There will be few graduates who has completed their BSc degree, or they would have been from financial based like BA, or from commerce or economics, who has been working on the critical financial operations. They would have been using some ERP systems for all their critical financial operations. In order to make their life easier, to make their life more easier and smoother, they have been coming up with an approach called Studio X. It has been created for a specific set of audience, which is called a citizen developer. For basic learning, yes, we can able to use the Studio X, but as a recommendation to all our engineering graduates, it should be the Studio, where you can able to use multiple programming languages, and it is not a where we can able to integrate multiple codes, and we can able to use multiple different packages. In Studio X, it is very limited in terms of functionality. In Studio X, it is very limited. In Studio, we have the vast scope to use all of the functionalities in depth. I hope I have answered your query. Any questions from anybody? Yeah, welcome, Tarun. A lot of silences. Whether you understood at least 5% of what we learned today, at least the basic of RPA and why we need it.
Any other questions? Students, if you have any questions, the chat box is open now. You can post your questions.
Okay, team. Yeah, I hope everyone is fine. Thank you for your patience for the last 1.5 hours. Thank you, Satish, and thank you, entire team. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Bhaskaran, for the wonderful session. I hope the session will be as good as today, even by tomorrow. So, the description box, I mean, the description of this video will be having all the downloadable contents, which we will be putting it shortly. You can download and then you can work on it. Thank you. Thank you, Bhaskaran.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you,
students.
Satish. Thank you, everyone.